Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I organized my notebooks during my exchange semester in France. I am a mechanical engineering student from Brazil and I am currently in my 4th year of studies out of 5 here in Brazil. And this video is a bit old. It is probably from November 2019, but I thought it was interesting to share with you anyways. Back then I was still in France and I was still studying mechanical engineering in French. That's why you see all my notes are in French. I have two disc-bound notebooks. I have this one that is pastel blue. And this one has larger discs, so you can put more papers into the notebook. And then the other one is this pastel pink one. And this has the normal sized discs, which I think is 23 millimeters. The blue one I bought in parts, so I only bought the discs and then the cover, so it was less expensive. And then the pink one I bought it already put together, so it was a little bit more expensive, and it came with the cover, the discs, and also some papers. I bought both of them in Brazil, but I think you can find them at Staples. Not in this color though. This one I'm not currently using, but it's already set up to be used. So here in the first page we have a couple of sticky notes, and it also has some dividers. I also have some more pastel dividers here at the end of the notebook. I don't like these ones as much as the other ones because the tabs don't pop out of the notebook, so it's not as easy to see the dividers. But anyway, at least the color is pretty. For now, this notebook is only holding my papers from French, and like I said before, I'm not currently using it. It's just on my shelf waiting to be used again. Okay, let's jump into the notebook that is more important. That is this one that I'm using currently for my studies. The first page, again, like the other one, has those sticky notes. I use those sticky notes a lot during my classes to write some comments on my notes or to write something important the professor said. And overall, I really like to use sticky notes in my college notes. The next page is actually my timetable. So here in France, instead of using the same timetable for every week, the classes are kind of random, like they don't have a fixed time each week. So every single week they have different classes in different times. And the next page, it's a general information page. So I have some important emails and kind of the overall informations I need from this exchange semester. Moving on, I get to the actual dividers for my classes. So I'm currently having only 4 classes. The first one is modeling, which is dynamic modeling and model analysis. Then I have MIAS, which is structural mechanics. Then I have math, which is finite element method. And then the last one is material choice, which is a class about the different materials we have. I also have this little tab here, which is the etc. And here I put some random things like this little plastic bag and also my extra papers. And then in this middle one that is blank, I can put another subject if I have, but I'm currently just using it as another spot for more blank paper. So starting here with the first class I have, which is dynamic modeling and model analysis. As you can see, I used lined paper to start the section, and usually I use lined paper for the class during the class, so the notes I take during the class I put on this lined paper. And I also put the handouts from my teachers, and in order to put it into the notebook I use a hole puncher and also some scissors. So it's very easy to do this. I have a couple of videos about it on my channel if you guys want to check it out. Anyway, so those handouts are usually projects or some homework my teachers gave me. So the way I organize it in my notebook is I first put the paper that they handed out, and then I put some blank paper after with the answers to the exercise or to the calculations I did on this specific project. And then as we go along, I still have more lined paper for the next classes, and so on, so on. Moving on to the next section, we have structural mechanics. Here the first page is actually a summary with important formulas for the whole course. And then the second page, I used a simple white page because for this specific subject, we have lots of matrices and also some drawings that I need to make. I thought it was more appropriate and better to use the simple white paper for this. And as you can see, I used some sticky notes to write comments about my notes and also to explain something better. And then after some time, I started using lined paper. Like I said before, this section is for extra paper. And then we finally arrived in the section of finite elements method. This is the only section that I used dotted paper. And this paper is actually originally from this notebook, so I bought it in the actual store that I bought the notebook. So it's kind of official, and it's a little thicker than normal paper. It's 120 grams, and it's very, very well made and very pretty, but it's quite expensive, so I only bought it once, and I'm probably not going to buy it again because it's very, very expensive. Anyway, I use this dotted paper for very important information. So all the notes that I have on this dotted paper are studies I made at home. This subject is very difficult and I usually wouldn't understand a lot during the classes, but I thought it was important to take notes anyway because eventually I would understand. So what I decided to do was simply to use the dotted paper to study at home and then the normal white paper to take my notes during classes. And you probably see the notes I took on the white paper are not very organized or pretty because I was not caring about this. What I really needed was to get information, and then later at home I would study more in depth and then I would understand. I also did the same thing as with the other section and put all the handouts in this notebook as well. And the order I decided to organize this was simply to put the handouts first and then the white papers with the calculations and the work done after. And of course I didn't want to waste paper, so sometimes if I had space left over on the paper, I would start the next assignment and so on, so on. I also have a few leftover dotted papers, but they are not enough to finish the semester. And now for the last section of my notebook is the section about choice of material, and it's basically a class we study about how to choose a certain material for a certain project. And this class has very few notes on it because it's not actually a proper class. We have a couple of lectures with different teachers and they present lots of images and general information. So usually you don't have to copy a lot of things. And that's why I only have like 3 pages in this section. And I also have 1 page left over. Here in the end, I have this little plastic bag for extra paper, and I also have the page for my personal info. And I always leave a divider in the end of the notebook to protect the last page from the friction that can occur between the last page and the back cover. So it's important if you want to keep your back cover clean and also your last paper clean to leave a divider in there. Anyway, this was my organization for this notebook. I really think it worked very, very well for me. And this video, like I said before, is a little bit old and I already finished my semester in this exchange and it was great. The subjects were quite hard. I didn't use the timetable as much because I have an agenda that is easier to see the classes and stuff like that. And I can make a video about this agenda as well if you guys want to. Just leave it in the comments and then I will do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you leave it a like and also subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video.